Hi, I'm Jennifer Bardot, and I'm the host today, and we will be talking about grit. And what does grit stand for? Growth, resilience, intention, tenacity, which leads me to introducing Kimberly, who is a contributing author in growth, and I am so excited to have you here today. So who is Kimberly?
Thanks for having me, Jennifer. I really appreciate that. Who's Kimberly? That's a great question. Well, what I do is we help people, really. I believe in the contribution of giving back. I'm very lucky that I am where I am because I've had such wonderful mentors and guides throughout my life that I believe in giving back to others. So we help organizations and people just remind them that they're better than they think they are, and they can do a heck of a lot more than they give themselves credit for, which I think is really cool.
I love that. Now, where did that concept of, self-belief, did you run into any obstacles? Where did that come from?
Well, I actually think it came out of, an early beginning of probably not having that belief in myself. I grew up thinking that I, wasn't special. I didn't have anything to contribute to the world or even to myself that probably wouldn't amount to a whole lot. I know you and I have some similar stories when we were young. And so I had that mindset. And I was very fortunate to just run into some really amazing people and get exposure to a lot of really great organizations out there where I thought, you know what, I can do more and I'm better than I give myself credit. So I'd say the biggest obstacle is me, me, myself, and I. You look in the mirror and you see yourself, but a lot of times we don't take the time to look inward. We always look outward. I'm a believer that I'm a circumstances of my choices and not my circumstances. So till I was probably almost 40, blamed other things, other people, situations for, oh, I'm this way because, or I'm this way because. And then I realized, you know what? No, I'm where I am because of my choices, and I need to stay firm to that and stay true to me as a person. And so it was that mind shift of, no, darn it. You're good and you can do whatever you want and there's nothing going to hold you back. And if you make a mistake, own it, figure out what's wrong, what went right, what went wrong, and then adjust as needed. And so I try to instill that in those people that I interact with on a daily basis, no matter who they are. I think as women, we believe we're, superwoman, right? We can do everything. Now, if you ask my family, they'll say, Mom, you're still that way, or honey, you're still that way. Little obsessive with, everything has to be perfect and that perfectionist. So I still struggle with that, but reminding myself to look around and go, you know what? It's okay. I can go to bed without having everything just clean perfectly and everything just great because my family loves me for who I am. And maybe that, retentive side isn't part of that love.
Well, and I love in that story, you're really owning your journey and who you are, and not looking for anybody else's affirmation to be enough. You are enough and you've owned that. And obviously, as an entrepreneur, you've had to own that path. So what is the work that you do today?
So we partner with organizations to help them either recruit, hire, or maintain their top talent. It's kind of a big bucket, a big mouthful, but we believe in that customization for each organization that we interact with. So we may run across a team who says, we're really struggling to find great people. If we haven't heard that enough in the last couple of years, right? A lot of people are doing that. But to really take a step back and say, what sets you apart as an organization, as a leader, as an individual? What are you actually looking for? And how can we maybe help find that person for you? But it's really starting, kind of like me starting inward. It's helping organizations look inward first and sometimes have those tough conversations to say, maybe make these small little adjustments, maybe tap into your values, tap into your culture so that you can truly find somebody that's going to retire with you and help organizations find I'm going to hire somebody and it's going to be the full life cycle to retirement. So once they can help hire, recruit, bring that person on, but then onboard them and give them the tools to be successful, offer the upskilling, offer that education, just all of that to help them continue to grow. When that individually grows internally, the organization's going to grow and everybody's successful. So,
and retaining talent is just critical. And it sounds like the lessons that you learned personally, you're now pouring into your business and the companies that you serve, which leads me to my next question. So you were contributing in author in growth. What is kind of a Cliff Note version of your chapter if those that hadn't read your story before? What did it look like?
I think it was my journey of how I got to where I am today, realizing that, yes, there were events that helped mold me, but also that journey of going from I looked at circumstances and said, this is why I am what I am, to saying, you know what, screw that. I am what I am because I made the choices. I made the choice of letting that incident or that person have an effect on me. I held that grudge against that person and I let it affect me for 10 plus years. And really kind of being open and honest with things that I knew internally or maybe my family knew, but I was not willing to share with the world. And you inspired a lot of that because you do some of that too. You do a lot of that, and realizing that maybe that one piece of my story can help somebody else look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm good enough too. And if I'm okay sharing my story, then somebody else is going to have the courage to share theirs and be able to take one more step forward as opposed to staying where they are or even taking a step backwards.
Yes, and I think leading with the vulnerability is not only it's great in aiding our growth and our success, but those that we will never even have conversations with, it might have inspired them to the entirely next level to own who they are.
Yes.
So on that same vein, what were you hoping the readers were going to gain from your chapter?
Hopefully take it an ounce of influence away and just walking away going, okay, if she can do it, so can I. And these books are filled with just incredible women. We all have a story, right? And I think that's what the power of the book is. Maybe somebody read my chapter and thought, oh, okay. But they read the chapter after mine or before mine, and they got inspiration from there. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters then. As long as they're getting inspiration from somewhere and they just can look in the mirror and feel better about themselves and just say, you know what, I am good enough. I'm where I am and I can do whatever I want to do and be able to take on the world with that. But maybe not the superwoman thing, be able to say no, right?
Absolutely. I do think that there's a power in being superwoman, but also knowing your limits and knowing to say no.
Yes. Yes. That's a craft all in itself, isn't it?
Right. So is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
I think just, every time we look in the mirror, just remember that. I think that's my motto or my why I get out of bed every morning is to remind everybody, and I think everyone can do the same thing, is that you're better than you give yourself credit for. And don't lose sight of that. And don't let the day's activities or other people influence you to go down a different path. Stay true to who you are and just keep plugging forward, even though it's really hard some days and we just want to crawl back in bed and put the covers over our heads.
Yes.
But we all can do it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And where can people find you?
They can look us up at buildateamconsultants.com or Kimberly at Build a Team Consultants.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm thrilled to have you as one of the authors and in the G.R.I.T family. So thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Jennifer. Really appreciate all you do and all the inspiration you've had for all of us. Thank you.